looking forward to that.
That's gonna be brutal.
See, the bad thing is season 7 was not good either. It was okay.
Okay.
But there was distance. There was time. It's been over a year since the previous season. So everyone forgot that season wasn't that great. Everybody was just hyped up. Like, oh, Game of Thrones is coming. Game of Thrones is coming.
You might want to center your mic, Cliff.
And then Game of Thrones shit the bed.
Yeah.
Like,
And like,
shit the bed the worst way.
Like, did you hear about that thing that happened with Blizzard a while back with their free-to-play Diablo?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. That was so brutal.
Okay. Has phones.
Yeah. You guys don't have phones? Oh, jeez. Fucking Blizzard.
Yeah, at the same time.
I mean, I don't feel bad for Blizzard.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, man, that was so brutal.
At the same time, it's like, I don't feel like the gameplay of Diablo is that complex that a phone version is out of the question.
True. But the fact that they... the fact that they super hyped it as being like the next thing. Well, they also basically just copied another one that already exists and just slapped Diablo's name on it.
I'm not saying they did a good job. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying. Alright.
No, I'm saying. Seriously, I'm saying.
Okay, so I got my coffee this time. So, what episode did you watch of Baywatch Nights?
We watched episode 8 now.
Something about fried chicken?
Yeah, so...
Yep. The fried chicken
trilogy. It was just called something about fried chicken.
Yep. Oh, balancing act.
Yeah, balancing act. Which was the much hyped 3-part...
Third part of the Chicken Trilogy.
Yeah, which
failed to deliver.
Well, unless you take chicken in the cowardly sense. Then there's a chicken through line.
Yes,
here.
now it's a metaphorical chicken.
Yes. The yellow-bellied kind. So, the episode opens with really just Angie showing off her butt in yoga pants. She's just stretching with some workout clothes on, and Ellerby is running a hot dog stand.
Oh. Yeah. It's the usual. We have a sting. We're doing a sting operation sort of thing. So we just doing random things on them. Yeah, by the beach.
All we know is how to be assholes at the beach.
Yeah,
which they're never just. Well, that one time, the first time they were just assholes at the beach, I guess. But you would think they could just rely on just being people at the beach more often.
Yeah, they always give themselves characters for some reason. Maybe just because they're bored.
Yeah,
they have fun with it.
I mean, yeah, it's like, you learn later that Ellerby wants to get off the beach as far as being a beach cop is concerned. So, they're having their little conversation where they're talking about the origin of the detective agency. Yeah. Kind of arguing because Andy's like, I started the detective agency, and Ellerby's like, we started it. Mm-hmm. And so then Ellerby starts the story. So you get like, oh, Ellerby's taking over the shitty noir VO work here. And so he talks about Mitch, the Hoff, being drunk one time.
Yeah. Eating a cheeseburger. Yeah, it's like he just started. He knew for some reason he knew that he just finished partying.
Well, it was Hoff. Hoff had just started his vacation. Yeah. And so Ellerby knows Hoff's vacation consists of getting drunk and falling asleep on his couch in his suit.
At like 3 a.m. Hold on just a sec. I'm just gonna go ahead and just change this out. I don't want to wait for the inevitable. It just falls out since it's just barely super glued in. So perfect. Okay, I feel happy now.
Yeah, so Hoff's drunk as fuck.
Trying to fall asleep on his couch.
Yeah, rocking his 5 o'clock shadow. That's how you know he's drunk. He's not really acting drunk.
More tired.
Yeah.
Which he probably is, to be fair.
Yeah. Because he also explains that sleeping is optional on vacation, which I guess his vacation is just drinking at that point.
Yeah. He's got a lot of demons, voice.
Hoff invented the staycation, and it involved mostly Malibu rum.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, Ellerby shows up at his door with a box of donuts, staring hard into the stereotype, and talking about how he wants to quit the Force.
Yeah, because this is a prequel episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because this is the story that Ellerby is telling Angie.
Okay. So this is okay.
Yeah, this is how
this is the episode that I wanted to know last time, where I'm like, why is he not a cop?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
this explains everything.
they listen to you.
Yeah. The time travel is real.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This is how we know.
Yeah. It wasn't Stephen Hawking's time travel party or anything. No, it's Baywatch Nights.
Yeah.
The one person who listens to this podcast is Kimmer Ringwald. So, yeah. Ellerby's all mad because his dumb partner is getting promoted to detective for busting a jade smuggling thing.
Yeah, something like that.
And so Ellerby's like, I'm going to quit this time and eat donuts.
Yeah, because he really wants to be a detective.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
He's tired of being a beach cop.
He's currently just a beach cop.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so Hoff, so this is the weird part, is then the next scene, Hoff retakes over the VO and starts narrating.
Yeah.
So Ellerby tells stories. I'm guessing he's just doing Hoff impersonations at this point.
This is Ellerby. Ellerby telling the story is the device that's being used, but in the midst of the story, the Hoff just takes over.
Yeah, it just becomes his story again.
Yeah.
So Ellerby got to tell the story for 5 minutes. What's even funnier is just imagining Ellerby telling the story, Hoff walking up in the middle of Ellerby telling the story, interrupting, taking over the middle of the story, and then walking away, because he never appears in the present day time.
Yeah.
So he's using his white male privilege. Is that
No,
what
see, my imagining is that the Hoff in the story just takes over the story. He just asserts dominance over the story.
He's like Deadpool, he just takes it over.
Yeah.
This is mine now. So, he takes it back over, and he heads down to the beach to check out this whole thing, because they found out. I can't even remember the clue they found out.
It was something about a boat.
Yeah, and he goes and
it's not clear why he's investigating this either, because this is before.
Well, there was a boat that was going past this like restricted water area for customs,
Yeah.
and it had been showing up while he was Baywatching. So obviously, because Baywatch is in charge of lifeguard and customs duty.
Yeah, it's not clear. It's not really clear why he's investigating this.
But it's at least somewhat tertiarily involved in his duty.
It's a
to
boat,
watch.
so he's
he's a boat and he watches the bay, so
Yeah.
it must be part of his.
He's a lifeguard, therefore Coast Guard.
Well, it's Baywatch, the watcher of the bay.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's not really clear why he's looking into this.
But yeah.
Nonetheless, goes up to some lady who apparently is renting this boat.
Yeah.
Who has no idea who he's renting this boat to.
Well, she's like, I have the paper. I can look it up, but I'm doing stuff right now.
Yeah,
She's like waxing a board or something.
Yeah.
Doing work. Like a chump.
Waxing a board. Is that a euphemism?
It might be.
Yeah.
And then so he goes over to the area where this boat's been going past, because the restricted waters area, and this is where we see Hoff meeting Angie for the first time. This is Ellerby telling Angie the story where Angie and the Hoff were there, but Ellerby was not yet there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that the Hoff just assumed dominance over the story. He just took control of it. He just sprung to life like out of a cartoon or something.
Narrator Hoff is much more powerful than Combat Hoff.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah,
all of his Navy SEAL training is taken in voice narration.
Yes.
He judo through that.
He specialized in narrative combat.
Yeah.
He meets this lady, who happens to be Angie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like ridicule. No one takes levels in narrative combat. And it's opposed by narrative combat.
Yeah.
But yeah, he meets this lady who's Angie.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why are you here? Because this place isn't a place where people should go.
Yeah, it's not a public.
It's a restricted sort of area,
Mm-hmm.
right?" And she just kind of blows him off.
Yeah,
really.
she's like, whatever.
She's like, "Whatever. I'm beating somebody here. Get away from me." More or less. She's very dismissive.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then she walks up to a boat, and this is where she's completing the transaction for the detective agency.
Yeah, for purchasing the detective agency.
Got it.
So, the guy on the boat is the guy who owned the private detective agency. He throws Angie a bracelet and a set of keys. The keys fall into the water, obviously.
Because he just sort of he's on top of it, he just sort of throws it.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it.
Yeah, they just go right right in between the boat and the dock and in the water.
While this is happening, basically, generic thuggos 1 and 2 are walking the other way towards the situation.
And we're on Jersey Shore now.
Yeah, and Hoff's senses are tingling.
Yes.
Too.
Oh.
So he knows trouble's afoot.
Yeah. So then he starts his Baywatch run. It actually goes like this is because this is before he's gone full time in a detective agency. So he does the Baywatch run, and then explosions just start happening behind him.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. They start shooting, and like it shoots a barrel, and of course barrels explode.
It's not even like they shoot a lot. It's like they immediately open fire and just explosions happen behind them.
Yeah. Very true.
All right.
Also, there's a person in the boat shooting.
Yeah, and the boat that Hoff is in looking for zooms past.
Yeah, that boat that Hoff's been...
And then Ellerby rolls up, doing his action ATV shot on his beach ATV
with short shorts.
Yeah, and his police polo. So it's just a shootout just happens.
Hoff goes in to help out Angie.
Yep.
Because she's really kind of dumb in this particular scene. Because she's just sort of like wandering about. He's like, "Get your head down."
So what you're saying is this is actually a narrative, because that explains the explosions and everything. This isn't like what really happened.
No, this is seriously Hoff taking over this story that Hoff is not involved in telling.
Yeah. No. This has got to be like one of those unreliable narrator things.
No, this is literally what happened. You always go to unreliable narrator, but no, this is literally what happened. This is a direct telling of what happened.
All right.
I still like the being that Hoff's ego is so strong that it just breaks through a story someone else is telling about him.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is Hoff immediately takes over, and then everything is like action movie, barrels exploding, and this is the only point in time where it does the Baywatch run.
No. This is literally what happens. We know this because Ellerby said so.
We also see Ellerby just strictly become a wingman for the Hoff in this episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he accepts this role willingly.
But anyway, there's a shootout. There's a shootout. Angie's being kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Which is weird considering she's already a PI at this point. She's just not a PI here in L.A. So yeah, for some weird reason, like they decide to escape from the boat because the boat's being shot at, obviously, because the people, the random thugs are shooting at the private detective guy who was with the keys and all that jazz.
Yeah,
and he's shooting back because he has a gun too.
Yeah, he's a functional private detective.
Right.
Basically, Hoff engineers a situation in which he gets to put his face in Andy's butt.
Yeah, this is true. Because in order to escape from the boat, for some reason, they had to go across this crane thingy.
Yeah.
And so they're crawling on this crane with, Andy's butt right in the Hoff's face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hoff has to be a gentleman because ladies first, right?
Right. So, yeah, Andy's complaining the whole time while this is going on.
There's no, end goal either. There's not, a thing on the other side they're crawling to. It's just a crane arm.
It's basically just get away from the boat.
It goes out over the water.
That seems to be the only objective. Because it's not. This isn't get to the dock crane. This is just get away from the boat.
This is not get to the chopper crane.
No,
none of that. Not get onto bigger, safer boat crane. This is just out over the water crane.
So of course, who is it falls off first?
Well, they're explaining that he's explaining that they're gonna have to drop anyway.
Yeah.
And then Andy starts to fall. He drops off and catches her. And is, hanging, doing almost the cliffhanger situation. And Andy explains to him that she can't swim, and he's like, "It's okay, I'm a lifeguard."
He also makes a weird joke here when they're dangling. They're like, "Oh, the fall will kill them."
Yeah.
even though it's not that big of a fall.
No.
It's 10?
15 maybe?
Yeah, 10, 15 feet.
Well, it's the ocean, too. It doesn't have... It's not like it's a pool of water with no surface tension.
Yeah.
It's like waves, back and forth. It's...
it's not that big of a fall. And, I don't know. It's a weird thing for him to say at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, "Oh, we'll die from the fall." And she's like, "What?" He's like, "No, never mind. I'm joking."
Just stops being an asshole in the middle of the shootout.
Yeah, no, I'm fucking with you. We gotta fall though, seriously.
Yeah. Literally everything is explosive in the shootout, by the way.
So yeah, there is a few more explosions, by the way, because the boat they were on is already on fire.
Yeah.
Because floating barrels and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they fall off into the water, and that's basically the end of the shootout.
Yeah. Then we get the scene, the cleanup, the private detective guys being taken away in an ambulance.
I think the random thugs just kind of run away.
Yeah, they don't really explain what happened to them. Angie and the Hoff are wet. Hoff does the dump out my shoe full of water thing. Mm-hmm. That old gag. Million laughs. Angie asks the eternal question of Baywatch. "Oh, lifeguard, what are you doing out here?" They just... the cops get to make fun of Ellerby. Yeah,
the cops show up and are real dicks to Ellerby for some reason.
Because he's beach cop.
Yeah, basically just because he's beach cop.
Yeah.
He's like, what is it? They're asking about what's going on, and because they don't know. They just showed up. Ellerby tells them what's going on because he was first on the scene.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, okay, good job. Fuck off."
Yeah, go back to the beach. Maybe ref a volleyball game. Nerd.
Yeah, no, they're real dicks for no fucking reason.
Even though he drove into a shootout on an ATV.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's baffling how much of an asshole these guys are.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are the bad guys from Revenge of the Nerds, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ogre chugs a beer, crushes the can on his head.
Yeah.
They explain that the bracelet that they threw to Angie is just cheap plastic.
It looks like jade, but it's
just cheap plastic. Because they're talking, they're like, "Oh, that looks like the jade thing that we're looking into." It's like, "Oh, it's cheap plastic. I already looked." At this point, I wasn't sure if Ellerby was telling the truth or just trying to stick it to the man.
Yeah.
I was 50-50 on it at this point.
Well, I figured there was a chance that he was trying to cover it up so he could get the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I was...
Yeah.
But no, They confirm later it is just cheap plastic, so okay. But yeah.
It's like, see, look, it's just cheap plastic. Snap. Ooh.
Yeah, this is where Ellerby is like, he starts working the wingman angle hard for the Hoff.
Yeah, because basically, Angie's being a bitch to be blood.
Yeah.
She's basically just saying fuck off to everybody who wants to help her.
Well, obviously this is Ellerby telling the story to Angie, so of course he can lie about Angie during it. She'll never know the difference.
Right. Unreliable narrator somehow.
This is the story of how Hoff met Angie. Of course Ellerby knows all the secrets.
But yeah, so yeah, Angie being a real bitch about the whole thing for kind of no reason. And what is it? And so Hoff's like, okay, fuck it. You want to do your own thing, do your own thing. But Ellerby pushes Hoff back. He's just like, no, she needs help.
Yeah.
And also, this is potential lead for me. Help me out, dude.
Well, before that, yeah, when she's just being a bitch, he's like, oh yeah, Hoff will give you a ride home, wink, wink, and he's like he's doing all the set shots for the Hoff, and Hoff keeps just missing the point completely on it. And then yeah, he's like, hey, look, this is we're gonna try to work the angle here to get the inside track on this case. So then Hoff gives Angie a ride to Knight's because that's the address of the detective agency.
As you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is when they meet Lou Rawls, Blues magician.
Uh-huh.
He lets them know that the office is upstairs and that the PI guy, Nicky, is late on his bar tab.
Also, that's not a good sign for the place.
Yeah. There's no sign or anything. It's just you have to know upstairs in the bar. They do.
Yeah, above Knights is the private detective.
So they go up to the office. They do the something's not right here for a second. Angie has to break in
because she doesn't have her keys. Because how they fell in the bay.
Yeah, yeah. And Hoff's like, "Oh, so breaking and entering's okay back where you're from?" Blah, 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 blah. He's being a dick to everybody's a dick except for Ellerby because Ellerby's telling the story.
Yeah, basically. Well, to be fair, he doesn't know that she owns the place at this point because she does.
Yeah,
and she explains that pretty shortly after.
Yeah, this is right after they get inside, and Hoff's like, "You're being crazy with all."
He's like, "Yeah, you can't go through all this stuff. What are you doing?" He's like, "No, I own all this stuff. I just bought it. That's what I was at the docks for."
Yeah,
and it's garbage because basically this is. And as you remember from the first episode, it's a mess at this point.
Yeah.
Hammers and filing cabinets, etc., etc.
Yeah. Taxidermy tiny crocodiles.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, wasn't it? Well, she inherited it, right?
That's what it seemed like in the first episode.
I thought that's what it was, but no, she bought it.
Oh, okay.
Evidently she bought... This might just be retconning the first episode. After 8 episodes, they may have rethought the whole thing.
Unless they have a different term of inheritance.
Inheritance, and then I gave them money, and they gave me a...
I inherited it after I paid them.
It's that death tax those Republicans keep trying to get us out of.
So yeah, she's pissed because this place was really upsold to her.
Yeah.
She didn't realize that it was a dump. Like I think she shows pictures of it looking fancy, but that's...
Yeah, she's like, look, this is Italian furniture. And they're like, no, that's an Italian furniture store.
Yeah.
So they're immediately on the ball on how this was all...
Yeah, on how she was swindled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she bought the place for $25,000.
Okay.
So,
and I'm like, that's not... Oh, wait. Yeah. This is like 90s money. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
25,000 for like beachfront.
Well, hey, it's unclear if she owns the second half of the building. That's really unclear.
Yeah, it's not clear how that.
But what we also find out a little bit later is it also comes with the red car that the Hoff just takes over.
Yeah, the Hoff basically just in that red car that we've mentioned before.
Yeah,
that Hoff drive. That's hers.
It's a company car. It's just like, yeah, whatever.
Apparently.
Yeah, kinda.
It's a sweet company car.
So, anyway, random guy, shows up. Like, he's, like, sneaking through some shit. And he tries to,
Yeah. Dude was just waiting in there.
Yeah. Tries to steal the bracelet. This happened a little bit before.
Yeah, a little bit before the whole...
Before they were talking about buying it, but right after they got in there, and they're like, this is dumb. The guy just comes out of, like, the shadows, like, give me the bracelet, bitch! And tries to grab it. Hoff gets in a fight with him. Hoff does reasonably well because it's basically just stalemate.
Yeah, they fight for a bit and then he runs off.
Yeah, they go down the stairs, the exterior stairs. Ellerby's coming up the stairs.
Oh, right.
And then they all just kind of smush into each other, fall over the rail. The guy gets up first and runs away.
Yeah, they all slam into each other on these stairs, fall off the rails onto a table, bust through a table. And somehow this guy has the time to both get up, run over to a car, get in the car, and drive away before either the Hoff or Ellerby has time to recover.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're so full of fried chicken.
Fried chicken and donuts, I love.
The Chicken Trilogy. So then they go back upstairs. Hoff's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm covering your ass. And then they go back upstairs and discuss this whole situation.
How she bought that thing.
Yeah.
At that point, Rose comes in.
Yeah. Who is the receptionist for the detective agency.
Nikki, for the previous owner.
Yeah,
Nikki.
the previous owners.
Oh, which is why she knows the filing system.
No.
What?
What?
No, that's Destiny.
You're thinking of Destiny.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Destiny is not in this episode at all.
Nope.
Oh.
Again, even though she is in the opening credits every single episode. It's been like 4 episodes since she showed up.
Yeah. Who's that right behind Ellerby?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
She's like in top 4 billing on the show, and she's been in like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
No, Rose is, she worked for Nikki. She shows up and immediately like outacts the whole cast in the scene.
Yeah, true.
She throws down the gauntlet as like, oh, I'm a respectable actor, but I don't get parts because I'm like a lady in her 50s. So fuck you guys. Just streeps them, but just explains, that they're like everybody liked him. They're having a party downstairs.
Yeah, Nikki was a prince, as she says. Also, he's dead, by the way.
Yeah.
He got sent off in the ambulance. They weren't sure about it, but around this time they also realized that they also found out that he's dead. I think that's when Ellerby shows up, actually.
Yeah, I think Ellerby explains.
Ellerby shows up, says they're dead, says he's dead.
Says they're dead. Everyone's dead.
Dead.
It's the ending of Lost.
No. Ellerby shows up, says that Nikki is dead.
See, now they're all ghosts, and this is where it starts into the paranormal.
Yeah. No, you still have like 18 episodes before that. No.
Yeah. Ellerby shows up, says Nikki's dead. Rose says that Nikki's dead. And also grabs a bottle of wine from the fridge, I believe.
Yeah. Because evidently, all Angie could find in that fridge was rotten coleslaw.
Yeah. And she just pulls out a bottle of expensive wine.
Yeah.
They mentioned the year and that it would be expensive, and she says not when he bought it, not when Nikki bought it, because he's old.
Yeah,
it's a joke. So she grabs the bottle, heads downstairs, and then they show Ellerby and the Hoff downstairs with this car, because she tossed them the keys too. She's like, "Oh, this car is downstairs. Yeah. It's the title's locked up in court, but he bought it at a police auction." Is the story behind it.
All right.
So they go downstairs. Hoff's like, I'm taking this car. It's mine now.
Pretty much. Because Angie doesn't go to investigate this at all.
No. She doesn't even know it came with the place.
Well, no, she was there. Wasn't she? Because she's still there in the room when Rose throws in the keys. I don't know what she goes to do, though.
I don't know what she does.
I forget what she goes to do.
I don't think they say.
She goes to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't remember what. I think she goes to investigate something. And while that's happening, Hoff and Ellerby go down to the garage where this thing is. And like, oh, wow, this is a nice car.
Yeah.
Also, I'm taking it.
We're just like, yeah, $25,000. It comes with the car. It doesn't seem like that bad of it.
No,
it sounds like a solid purchase.
No.
At least until Hoff steals this part.
But they also find a catalog. In
Yeah.
the car, which is important clue.
Yeah, when they're digging through the trunk and stuff, they find it's got like the bracelet.
It's for an auction.
Yeah, the real bracelet is circled at like auction for like $250,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
$500,000.
$35 million, I believe.
So then we get the requisite 2-minute musical interlude of Hoff and Ellerby just cruising in the car looking for Angie.
Oh, excitement.
Well, Blues plays. Actually, it's a much better musical.
Yes.
The music's much better, firstly.
But nothing happens.
Also, here's a scene you might... Let me see if you recognize this scene, Marty.
Uh-huh.
A young boy in a suit
Uh-huh.
gets up on stage in a blues club with a harmonica and just plays the ever-loving shit out of some blues harmonica. Sound familiar?
Oh. Yeah. Does it go full bore into that?
No. I'm just waiting for the scene where somebody has to shoot him with a special bullet so that he ages properly.
Yeah, that's
because it's even the same color suit, by the way.
And that color shows up frequently.
Uh-huh.
It's a visual leitmotif.
In my mind, that's the same kid, and they just never get to that part of the story, and they just have no idea that that's what's going on.
Well, I mean, technically, that takes place way in the future.
Right?
So,
Yeah. So he still has like lots of people.
Oh yeah. No, you can't kill him yet.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, yeah, they're just driving around.
Yeah,
They are doing a live action remake. Maybe they'll just cast that.
just cut that out of the out of Baywatch, right? And put it in there to save some money. So hilarious.
So fucking low def.
But yeah, it's just musical interlude. They drive around all night, don't find her.
Yeah.
And then they find her in the morning.
Yeah.
After the musical interlude is over.
Yeah.
Well, you had to wait for the full musical.
She's just hanging out by night in a Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because she's just sort of on this little pier.
Like a boardwalk or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what those are called exactly.
Oh, she's hanging out.
She's literally within eye shot of night.
Yeah. And they're just like, oh, what you thinking about? Just, yeah, nothing.
Feed seagulls.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, they talk about, how she's like was the youngest and had 6 brothers, and so child stuff. Gotta smash the bananas. No.
Yeah.
Smash bananas?
Remember the episode?
Peanut butter banana sandwiches?
Yeah,
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
smash the bananas. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, they just talk about how she grew up tough and wanted to strike out.
She was the youngest child with
Yeah.
all older brothers.
Yeah.
Switchblades, snapping their fingers.
Right.
So then they're running Hoff's like, oh, we got a lead on the boat because he got a call from the
lady.
The
that
lady
he talked
that
to before.
yeah. So they go down there.
Busy waxing a board.
Yeah. And this is where Angie shows off some of her investigative skills and finds a hair and identifies the color of the hair, like the kind of dye that it's used.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like, this is a hair, it's a red one. I mean, it is also, I find this a little dubious because also this is a boat, that it's a rental boat, so it's like,
Yeah.
how many assholes sit in this boat every day?
Everybody knows there's no redheads in LA.
Yeah. They're all blondes at this point. Angie's the only brunette.
Uh-huh. Everybody else is blonde.
Yep. So, So yeah, they find that, okay, she puts it in her little evidence Ziploc baggie like it's the homework in Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go back to Angie's motel, and the place has been ransacked. And they look, and there's like a guy outside the window who like runs away.
I think Hoff might recognize him. He's like, it's one of the dudes from the shootout.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
he goes to like work the sliding door, and it's like jammed. And he's like, you couldn't have got in this way; it's stuck. It's like, or you just don't know how to open it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I know. Yeah.
I think he just doesn't know how to operate a door.
he's.
And so, Andy opens up her little bag she's been carrying everywhere and pulls out her, like, forensic shit. And, like, starts getting fingerprints and shit. Because she's like, the cops aren't going to do anything. They're just going to come by and, like, write a report and then not do anything with it.
Yeah, it sounds like cops.
So she takes, some fingerprints and stuff.
Especially these cops, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you, beach nerd.
Yeah, they're just too busy picking on Ellery.
Yeah.
I remember when we got robbed here, and they're like, so, what do you want us to do? And I'm like, do something? Like, you want us to dust for prints or something? Sure!
Wouldn't hold out much hope for the Clearwater, or the Credence.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. We're working in teams.
Yeah. So, Sarge guy is working in shifts. So, Ellerby sneaks him into the forensics lab down at HQ. That's because he's like, fuck everyone, I don't care. I'm just on Team Ellerby now. So they like ran the fingerprints and are printing out. And it's one of those old dot matrix printers. It's like,
yeah, it is hilariously slow and loud.
Yeah, and so
especially considering what happens in this scene.
Yeah, because then the Nerd Patrol show up.
Yeah, they're like, "What up, nerd? What are you doing in the physics room, nerd?
Yeah,
this is for cool kids."
And the fat cop is telling the other one, he's like, "And watch out, Ellerby's already broke my nose twice talking to him like that."
Yeah.
And then Ellerby breaks both their noses.
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
He's just like, no sponge pal.
Yeah, because they're giving him shit about they're giving him shit. Yeah. With the same shit as before.
Yeah.
While he's like trying to hide that they're printing out stuff, even though you can clearly hear over you, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. You can hear that in the background.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I don't have to take this shit from you. I quit.
Yeah, just breaks both their noses. And the fat cop's like, 3 times!
Yeah.
Because Ellerby's telling the story, so of course he's like, nose punches, pow, pow. Judo chop, ah. So then Andy's like, and guess whose print it is? And Hoff's like, it's Nikki's. She's like, hey, how'd you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, oh, Nikki's not dead, dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So, then they go to crash.
Hoff and I have already figured it out.
Yeah. So then they go to crash the fake funeral, held on a boat. And it's got the urn, because they're like, because that was the other thing they said when the Nerd Patrol was there. They're like, if you want to visit his body, he's in the morgue, except for he's been cremated.
Yeah. You better go to the funeral, because they're gonna throw his ashes at sea or whatever.
Yeah. Like, we're going to do an exposition jump and also call you a bunch of dweebs.
Also, my nose!
Yeah, oh, you broke my nose. So, they go, all right, we're going to crash this funeral now. And they show up like a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, they are in asshole mode.
Yeah. So it's like they know that this is a fake funeral, but they don't know if anybody else knows. Really, this is a fake funeral.
They like, one other person knows.
Yeah. So they show up and they're like, where's Nikki? Is he in here? And they like pick up the urn and dump it upside down. Like, hello.
Which they could have easily put like fake ash in there.
Yeah.
And they just look like super assholes.
Yeah. It's like have a fucking barbecue and just scoop some of the.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, instead they're just asshole supreme. And then Hoff breaks the case by spotting the socks, and it's like the green socks you saw Nikki wearing before.
Yeah. There was a thing that we kind of forgot to mention. There was when Nikki's being like put into the ambulance. They do a focus for a second on like his socks.
Yeah,
like Hoff to the ambulance.
Like Hoff looks at his feet because he's a feet guy.
Yeah,
and he's like socks,
and he sees
socks.
those same socks. Yep, green socks actually. And he sees those same socks apparently.
Yeah,
and while this dude's cutting up a ham or whatever.
Yeah, what's hilarious is he's like got the green socks on. I was like, green socks. And the guy turns. He's got like the shittiest fake mustache.
Yeah, he has
it's
a
like
real
hanging
shitty
half
disguise.
off his face. It's clearly Nicky. He didn't even pretend to look different. And he's like, oh shit, and like runs away. And then he gets on like one of those...
It's a very short, very comedic chase because he runs away, like he basically just runs off the boat, gets on one of those like luggage carriers at like a airport or whatever.
Yeah.
And just like drives away for a bit.
He's like kind of driving for like a half circle in the parking lot while Hoff is
Hoff like
jogging next to him and
like grab, like he's hanging onto it. It's like don't let me punch you and all that stuff.
Yeah. And so. Yeah, then you find out that that Nikki was like had made off with the bracelet, the real bracelet, and had given it to Rose.
Yeah, Rose is wearing it.
Yeah, she's got the real
Jade.
Yeah, and he had to make a show of giving the fake one to Angie.
Yeah, he had this whole elaborate plan actually about involving faking his death, giving a fake bracelet to Angie so that they would go after her, so that he could then also reveal that he was back from the dead and like pounce on the dude who's doing this jade smuggling too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a whole complicated scheme.
And so like when they talk about him being a saint and how he had friends, it was like all the friends were the people who could help him fake his death, like judges and lawyers and blah 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 blah.
Who were all on the boat.
Yeah,
got it.
Well, these two assholes show up. Yeah. So then they go to use this. They all like team up now. They're like, go team venture.
Yeah.
All right.
Though Angie's super pissed, of course, because she thought Nicky was a cool guy, but he kind of fucked her.
Yeah.
Despite him having a sort of good reason to do it.
Yeah.
He had this whole complicated sting operation, and one of his primary reasons really was that he could give the jade bracelet to Rose because he loves Rose.
Got it.
So then we get the bad guy whose name is like Charles Landau.
Yeah.
And his acting technique is like he heard somebody watch a James Bond marathon next door and just took notes of the bad guy's sound through the wall.
Yeah, he just sort of tries to match that pattern.
So it sounds ridiculous the whole time.
Uh-huh.
So they're supposed to like meet up with him to have Angie wear the bracelet. Mm-hmm. And so Rose let Angie wear the bracelet so that they can catch him. Yeah. It's kind of nebulous how this...
It's not a very good plan.
No.
Frankly. Also, it's not clear... It's not clear that they ever that Landau and his goons ever figured out that the other bracelet was fake either.
Yeah. So Angie wears the bracelet and they go and like talk with him, set up like this whole thing, and Nikki's hiding like in a car, so they walk over to the car, then Nikki's in the car and he's like, I gotcha. And then Lando's like, I'm the bad guy, fuck you. And like
pulls a knife on Angie and takes the bracelet from her.
Yeah. Runs away, and then Nikki's like, yeah, I guess it wasn't a very good plan.
That's it?
Yeah. Basically, yes. He runs away with the bracelet, and Angie talks to Nikki for a second, like, oh, that wasn't a very good plan. Like, yup.
Meanwhile,
and then it like cuts to then it goes to the next thing. While it's happening, while he's running away to the dock, Ellerby Oh, well, Hoff chases after him.
Yeah.
And Ellerby's already waiting on the dock and cuts him off.
Yeah. Because we know one superpower that Ellerby has, and he knows where everyone's going.
Yep.
As long as you're within the greater Malibu area.
Yeah.
He can cut you off at any
geographical knowledge is unparalleled.
Yeah. It's only paralleled by Hoff's narrative combat skills.
Yeah, it's true. those two powers, they cannot be defeated.
So Ellerby's waiting, and Hoff kind of approaches him. He's like, he basically tells Hoff that he knows Hoff's a piece of shit fighting. He's like, not on your best day, buddy.
Yeah, because he's got a knife.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll cut you. Which is real low rent for the sort of villain he's trying to be.
He's supposed to be like this $1 million smuggler, and he's like got a switchblade.
Yeah. He doesn't have, his goons aren't with him. I don't know where the goons are.
No, it's because Ellerby nose punched him. Ellerby did the secret nose punch to him. He's like, nose punch.
So yeah, he's just by himself with a knife versus two guys. It's like the worst place for it to be. So anyway, yeah, he's like, I'll cut you off. And
Hoff's like, how do you like fish? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Ellerby pulls the rope.
And there's like a big net of fish.
And there's a big net of fish.
And they just murder him by fish.
They just drop like a ton of fish on him.
Yeah.
Which is
waste how much money?
It's hilarious because it just drops on him.
Yeah. And then like his arms like hanging out limply with like the bracelet. And they're like, we taking that. Fuck you, buddy. Just walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, Nicky just goes up and takes the bracelet. Just goes away.
Yeah. And so now we're back at night. They have that wrapped up as they drop fish on him. Fuck it. And so Hoff is playing pool with the rental boat lady. And he's under the impression that they're playing for money, but she's not. He's like, that's 3 games already. You owe me a lot. She's like, we're not playing for money. And then meanwhile, Ellerby and Angie are talking, and we're talking about how basically Ellerby is gonna go in on this venture with Angie, but together they still don't have enough money to keep the agency solvent. And so they're like, we need Hoff. And then Hoff walks up, and they're like, dude, bro, we could do a thing, bro.
They guilt trip Hoff.
And he's like, dude, I'm a lifeguard. The only money I have is my kid's college fund. I'm not going to spend that. And Angie's like, think of this investment as an investment. That's basically her pitch.
Yeah, and then he's like, okay.
So Hoff already took their car.
Yes.
Effectively.
And now he spends his child's college fund to pay for it.
To be fair, we're talking about Hobie here. He's not going to work.
That's true. I bet he's gonna do the 4-week training course on how to be a Baywatch.
But yeah, after
4
that,
weeks. That's pretty big.
Well, I mean, you have to cover all the things that Baywatch is responsible for:
running
lifeguard duty, customs work, diamond smuggling. I mean, there's a lot. Fighting vampires at night in the 2nd season. There's a lot to cover in Baywatch school.
But yeah, then it goes back. After that, it goes back to present time.
Yeah,
where Ellerby and Angie are still doing their
stakeout. And they're like, yep. So I guess it was all of us that started the agency.
Yeah.
So this was very clearly Ellerby and Angie telling the story.
Hoff nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen, even though he was doing the VO work for most of the episode.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Which is why he's strongest in narrative combat. He's unbeatable there.
Yeah.
Your narrative jiu-jitsu is strong. Just uses your force against you and takes over.
So he doesn't even have to be there to win.
No.
That's how strong he is.
Yeah. So then we find out that they're on the case they're working is there's supposed to be somebody like doing some corporate espionage where they're stealing the plans for some top secret running shoe.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're
Is it the start of Jumanji?
Sure.
Well, the important thing is don't start playing the game unless you intend to finish. That's the lesson that Angie teaches Ellerby in this instant.
Right.
So,
because as she says, the bag is important, not the guy.
Yeah. She's like, this is first of all, they're saying like if corporate espionage is very punctual. They're like, you'll be in a few minutes. And so she goes back to like stretching, like she's working out. Ellerby talks about how he sold like way more hot dogs at $2.50 each than they've made being private detectives, so that you just sell hot dogs.
Once again, Ellerby wants to just...
Yeah, he just wants to sell... It's basically like all of our RPG games where you just want to sell noodles. Ellerby is you.
To be fair, my character just wants to eat noodles. Just selling it just means more access.
Yeah, we saw Ellerby demolish a box of donuts in this episode.
Yeah. It's what Ellerby wants over Ellerby's house of chicken and hot dogs. But yeah, they basically just grab the guy.
So yeah, this is terrible. Like the guy runs up, this one jogger runs up, and he's got like a bag. He like drops off, and like this fat guy comes up, and then they just run. Their plan is just they just run up behind him. Ellerby just grabs him. Angie grabs the bag. Then they drop him, and then like Ellerby's gonna go run after him, and she's like, "No, bag, not the guy." And those are credits.
Yeah, pretty much. They like open it up. They find there's an envelope. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
High five, credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they literally just walk up behind the dude.
Yeah,
Ellerby just grabs him, lifts him in the air, and Angie steals the bag, and that's it.
Yeah, he's basically like, "Gotcha, bitch!" And he grabs the bag, and he puts him back down. Then the guy runs away. Then Ellerby wants to chase him. So I think Ellerby's like part dog.
A little bit.
He's like, "Squirrel!" Yeah. So the third part is like the Chicken Trilogy concluded with hot dogs. But yeah.
Chicken hot.
It could be chicken hot dogs. We don't know.
Yeah.
This is 90s in Malibu.
Yeah.
$2.50 a pop.
Yeah.
Could be chicken hot dogs.
Could be chicken hot dogs.
So,
honestly, could have just turned that off right there. Could be chicken hot dogs.
we gotta rate the episode.
Oh, yeah. You have to rank it.
This one's kind of weird. It was kind of weird watching this episode.
Yeah.
The prequel energy gave it weird energy.
It did. It was like the prequel on Star Wars.
It should have started with it.
Honestly,
it should have just been the first episode.
It should have just been the first episode.
I mean, it's not like they did the narrative punch with the first episode anyway.
No, it should have just been the first episode, 100%.
Yeah.
Honestly, they probably just couldn't have it be the first episode because they had to have the 5 minutes for Hoff to talk to you in the lifeguard office.
Maybe.
Where he's like, during the days I'm watching the bays, and at night I'm private detecting.
Absolutely necessary.
Yeah, it's not even like the second episode takes place long after this episode. This episode takes place like a week before the second episode.
Yeah. Well, they're still trying to figure out the filing system.
Yeah, they're still figuring shit out. Like, I don't know what the fuck this place is all about.
Yeah, no, this could have been the first episode. It could have been the second episode, even.
Yeah.
Honestly,
made more sense.
This could have been a Firefly situation where they're like, no, you gotta change the first episode.
Yeah. I'd believe it, frankly, if they just chopped it up for no good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, they even still had the Baywatch running.
That was like the point of transition. Ellerby's still got his beach cop uniform.
Uh-huh.
Action ATV sequence. They didn't borrow that ATV for any other part of Baywatch nights.
No.
Just for this part. And it is weird how it just jumps into the Hoff doing the narration, even though it's Ellerby and Angie talking.
Yeah, it's real weird.
Yeah. He just takes his shit over now. He's like, fuck you, it's my show.
Yeah, I'm not sure where to rate it.
It does have that weird energy. The plot isn't great. Some of it's like, I won't say confusing, but it's
needlessly complicated.
Yeah, it's just very prequel Star Warsy, honestly. Where you just if you try to think about it too long, it makes no sense.
So it's like a Trump speech.
Well,
because it makes sense at first blush.
I kind of like Nikki though.
Nikki was a cool character
because he's the sort of thing where he's like a scummy PI.
Yeah,
but he also is good natured because they have a whole thing like where they talk about where they think he's dead. They talk about about all the good things he did, like how he'd take a case from anybody for like virtually any price.
Yeah.
So he was doing it to do it.
Honestly, I want to see the prequel series about Nikki.
Yeah,
that would be a good series.
Yeah. He has this whole thing where, well, especially if they did a prequel thing where like when he was like.
When he was an actual vampire hunter?
When he was an actual vampire hunter, yeah. No, when he was much younger.
Well, there's like the whole thing where whose pool did he find the Ferrari in? There was a whole joke about him finding like a Ferrari in a celebrity's pool or something.
Yeah. There's a joke. There was a joke that where him and Rose are like, they're like, oh, that was a good case. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, like him and Rose have this great energy. They're both like the best actors in the episode. He's like, but he also is like weird. Like he has.
I wonder if they shot it first, but they had to do reshoots and they couldn't get the actors back in, so they had to wait until they could get them to do the reshoots, and that's why it's not first.
I don't know, but it's like the episodes are separated. The first episode is separated from this episode by like 8 weeks in airtime and like a week or two in like real time, the opposite direction. It doesn't make sense to have this weird prequel.
No, it's a weird time to have it.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Yeah, so it should have been either like the first episode or like the 20-something episode where it goes way back.
No, I think it really should have either been the first or second episode. The first episode just being like, Baywatch Nights. And the second episode just being, how did we get here? And then that.
Okay, so you like the Berserk thing, where they do the, like chapter, 200 way. This is what'll happen way, way, way in the future.
Yeah. Like the anime where they do the cold open where he's
manga does that too.
That's true, that's right, yeah.
Manga goes even further. It does like a whole book.
Yeah. He does it. There's a whole. He does a whole thing where he fights a bunch of stuff, and then they go back to to his Band of the Hawk.
Yeah, I just want the Nikki show, because the other thing is he's making money at this. Like, it's not like he's broke.
Yeah. When
he's doing it, because he's like doing this whole. He's like buying cars from fucking police auctions and shit. So it's not like he's making a ton of money, but he's not broke. But he's got like weird contracts. Like he has one contract that's like $5 an hour for reviewing security camera footage, and just like there's weird shit like this. But like he makes it work. He's got this. It's like so he's like this weird good guy in the neighborhood who's also like weirdly scummy. Yeah, but like
he's Han Solo-ish.
Yeah.
In that he's a scoundrel, but he does good things.
And then he works like these weirdly complicated capers and shit. And it's like this is like a whole interesting
thing. That's the thing too. Is his whole fake his death Jade switcheroo plan? Mm-hmm. Is like the protagonist just kind of fucked it up, basically by revealing that he's not dead, and then they have to work around it.
So it's like. In all ways, he just seems like the superior show that we should be watching. At least until like the werewolves and shit show up.
Right. Yeah. If in a lot of ways, it feels like if there was a Nikki show, and like this is like the send off to those characters because they're old now.
This feels like, or like the episode where the Enterprise crew from Next Gen like meets up with the DS9 crew, and have their whole thing. And Sisko's like, "Fuck you, Picard, you asshole!
You killed my wife."
It feels like that episode, but there's no cool Nikki show to go back and watch.
Yeah.
Basically, it's almost like they bought like the Magnum PI detective agency from like old weird like dementia having Magnum.
Yeah, in some ways. So I don't know.
But yeah, the plot's so weird.
The plot's weird, and the characters are weird.
Yeah,
also.
none of them. They like. It's also like they don't act like them. Like it seems like a pilot episode.
Yeah, like as I mentioned before, Andy's kind of dumb and bitchy. Like at the start of the episode.
LRB's like the pushover, like downtrodden guy.
Yeah.
Whereas later he's always like the cool walking black dude.
Which makes sense, I suppose, considering where he's at. He's at the I don't want to be a cop anymore. I want to be a detective, but they're not going to let me be a detective.
He learns confidence through the power of nose punches.
I'm going to eat 5 donuts. And Hoff's
almost wins a fight.
Hoff's kind of there is basically what
that's the other funny thing too. Which is almost shades of the first episode, where he doesn't have anything to contribute other than just being there.
Yeah, he's just kind of there, which is, so I don't know, 4.5.
I'd probably put it being right underneath the first episode is, I think, fair.
Yeah, because his is the good parts, and
it's better paced than episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like stuff happens.
Yeah,
it doesn't weirdly drag on forever because we have episode 7 at 3.25.
Yeah.
Okay.
The pacing is much better. That's for sure.
And at least you have 2 characters with Nikki and Rose, that actually can act.
The musical interlude is superior to pretty much every episode.
Yeah, I mean,
that is
that's more than most episodes.
Yeah. No, considering the musical interludes, as I've stated before,
between the musical interludes and the fact
of the episodes,
and they always
between having 2 good actors and a good musical interlude, I mean, that's got to rank it a little bit higher than what it should be.
And the crazy shootout is a little fun to watch because just random shit just explodes for no reason.
It's a little bit of that Baywatch goofiness.
Yeah, it's like Michael Baywatch.
That's a title.
So I think that's a fair point. It's right around like the same quality.
It's around the first episode. I'm not sure if it's right below it or right above it. My feeling is right below it.
All right.
Just because of the weirdness of the characters and how and what a stupid place for it to be.
And the lack of destiny.
Lack of destiny is also a problem. Also, just the stupid placement in the series also. Yeah. If this was like the first episode, sure.
Mm-hmm. Or if they if this was like the second to last episode of the season and it set up the season finale.
Yeah,
that would be a whole thing too. Like, a thing from the past secretly ties into this case.
Like, Nikki's back and he needs help.
Yeah. Or we're actually going to finish up this whole Jade thing instead of just worrying about this one bracelet or something, anything like that. Yeah. If there's some reason for it to revisit this case, other than just a disagreement on semantics between Ellerby and Angie on whether she started the detective agency or they started it together.
Yeah, instead of just this weird flashback prequel episode.
Yeah. Remember 2 months ago?
Where we both made major business decisions.
Yeah. It was so long ago that they have trouble remembering 2 months ago.
Hold on, I need to channel the Hoff for this story.
Narrative throw!
I need a bottle of Malibu rum, a baggy suit, and some cheap cologne. Stat. We arrange it in the pentacle and summon the spirit of Hoff.
Is he already dead? And are we into the supernatural?
Well, he's been dead on the inside since this began.
You know when he was giving that little opening narration, thinking of the first episode, like when the lights go down, blah blah blah.
Oh no,
that was dead at the eyes.
Also, no nighttime in this episode either. No, wait, there's the driving. There's
the driving is at night.
No, it's the American Beauty thing where Hoff has been dead and he's recounting his life as the narrator.
No. Yeah. The driving is at night. They do some night driving.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was it. They basically try to recreate the montage from Rocky IV.
Yeah, a little bit.
With a shittier car.
Shittier car.
It's the best music that they've had on Baywatch nights, but still shittier music.
Still shittier music.
We rate this at a watch Rocky 4 out of 10. To
be fair, I read a lot of things like that.
Yeah. What we're saying is we should just watch Rocky 4 for a year straight every week. Alright. So, next up on the pipeline, episode 9. Blues Boy.
Uh-oh. I hope it goes back to that kid.
Uh-oh.
I hope it does.
He's gonna get a bullet to the face.
He's just gonna start shooting people.
Alright.
Turns out it's Lou Rawls is like, no, you can't, no.
I don't want to know the description. I just want to savor this image.
I want that. I just want that. Just take that episode of Cowboy Bebop and just slot it in here.
You can't just watch Cowboy Bebop before next.
I want it though. I want it.
I mean, you can also watch Cowboy Bebop.
Blues Boy. Shit.
So one of us has to watch Baywatch, and the other one watches Cowboy
I've been
Bebop.
liking the blues since I was in my daddy's sack.
And then we alternate the story between the two. No. I almost read the description for Pressure Cooker.
Let's see, Blues Boy. You know, I if this was a different show, I would think that like that kid was a setup for like the next episode.
They showed the kid a lot.
They showed the kid a lot.
I would not be surprised if this kid showed, and that's why they slotted this episode here. Like, this is the episode with the kid. Even though it's the musical interlude part, and that doesn't, matter at all.
Yeah, they just show him a couple of times.
Yep.
Because they show him like he's the biggest shit ever.
Yeah.
Like, the reveal is like, this is supposed to be like, again, what's his name from Blues Traveler or some shit?
No, I'm sticking with the. It's just that episode of Cowboy Bebop. I don't care if there's. I'm sure that's not right. There's no way that's the case.
I'm with him.
There's no way that's the case, but that's what I want it to be.
All right, so in this episode, a boy asks Mitch and Ellerby for help when he thinks his uncle's partners are after him for the location of money stolen from the boy's murdered father.
Dear God, that is like the plot.
A little bit.
That's the start of the plot, I'm pretty sure. Because it's the...
Episode 10 might be problematic. I'm just going to say that right now. But we're not at that point yet.
That's the one where they go into space to save the gates, right?
Right.
Or was it the one with the sea rats and the dolphin?
It could be. Well, it's the one with the gates, and everybody knows the gates are super racist.
Yeah. So this is gonna be the post Chicken Trilogy world.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Now that we're fully aware of how much better the previous owner of this detective agency
yeah.
and how they can seemingly only make money at hot dogs.
Okay, we'll stop there.